Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu. V'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol Yisrael amecha, v'cheinu yotzreinu kolonu ke'echad, v'yapanecha. Ki ve'apanecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu. V'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chayim, yahavat chesed, v'yachavat chesed, u'tzedaka u'vracha v'rachamim, v'chayim v'shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova u'vracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu. V'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol Yisrael amecha, v'tov v'tov v'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'v'chol shah b'shlomecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu. V'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Amvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Sima tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, sima tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, sima tovu, elanu. Sima tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, sima tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, sima tovu, mazel tovu, sima tovu, elanu.
I'm looking around the room, so many familiar faces. It's just a wonderful thing. You can see that people came from near and far and traveled great distances to be here. I can see people from North Kingstown, East Greenwich, South Kingstown, Narragansett. God bless you. Schlepping like this for Remmie. And so many familiar faces from Temple Sinai, especially from over the years. I see Don Wexler and Stan Horovitz here. They've been making the Minion breakfast for many, many, many years. think we go back to the day that they invented opium. Well, we thank them for that. And I see your involvement at this table. Herb, past president. Actually, talking about Remmie, he and Gene Siegel actually were primarily responsible for Remmie's hire 34 years ago. Thank you. You know, those of us in the Past President Club will acknowledge that it's a great honor to serve a temple as a president. Not always a pleasure. Herb did it twice. He's my idol. God bless you, Herb. God bless you. I see Michael Smith at this table, very well-known funeral director in the state. Michael, we are very, very, very happy to see you here. Because if you're here, we're not there. Many more familiar faces. Everybody's ducking. Mark Perlman, one of the co-owners of Job Lot, as we know, been terrific for the temple over the years. They're expanding it, what is it, 113 now? How many stores? 113 stores. Apparently they're international now. On, I think it was June 2nd, picked up a copy of the Jerusalem Post. There's a Job Lot ad for overstock last year's Torahs. And he had three prices: small Torahs plain, medium Torahs with yard and ornaments, and large Torahs with yard, ornaments, and a rabbi, all expenses paid, to come and read on Shavuot. You're unbelievable. Joel Gerstenblatt. You know, everybody always mixes us up. Same first name, Joel. Both attorneys, right? Both past presidents of the temple. And both tall and thin. You don't think he's tall and thin? This is a power table. We've got Dr. Marvin Wasser, we've got Harriet Wasser, and we've got Ellie Wasser. Got a lot of Wassers. Dr. Marvin Wasser, we've got to give him a muzzle tough. He just won a gold medal for chauffeur blowing in the Maccabee Games. Harriet Wasser, Harriet's our sisterhood president, and does a phenomenal job. Harriet's main platform is membership. She wants to get more and more women involved with the sisterhood, and she does a phenomenal job. In fact, many of you may not realize, but you don't have to be a member of Temple Sinai to be in the sisterhood. In fact, you don't even have to be Jewish to be in the sisterhood. Did you know that? Is that true? And she's been very aggressive. She's gotten a number of women. But Harriet, Michelle Obama, and then we've got Ellie Wasser, our president of the temple. Ellie's done a fantastic job. In fact, Ellie, you've done such a great job. We have a surprise for you. We amended the bylaws. Now the president of the temple has the same term as the U.S. president, 4 years. Good luck with the next 3. And we've got Dottie Swayze. Dottie's our temple administrator. Now, many of you may think that the president of the temple runs the temple. Many of you may think that the board of directors runs the temple. The fact of the matter is, Dottie Swajan runs the temple. Without Dottie, the heart of the temple stops beating and there's confusion reigning. Dottie, thank you so much for a very tough job. I have to say that my favorite Remmie story, if I can get this back and don't break it. My favorite Remmie story dates back a number of years when unfortunately Remmie had a difficult time and was at the Miriam Hospital. In fact, as I recall, we spoke because he had a decision to make. He was either going to go to Our Lady of Fatima or the Miriam. Somehow we ended up at the Miriam. But you'll remember this. Just by happenstance, I'm coming to visit him, and I'm walking in the lobby, and who do I bump into but Michael Smith? Oh yeah. So we ended up going up in the elevator together, and we walked into Remmie's room, and Remmie's sleeping. So we both stood at the end of his bed quietly, and suddenly he opened his eyes, and he had the most terrified look on his face. I said, "Remmie, what's the matter?" He said, "Joe, I'm in the hospital. I open my eyes, and there's my lawyer and my funeral director looking at me. Not good." True story. Speaking of past presidents, Remmie, I have to give you a special thank you on behalf of all of us for being much slower every year and much more deliberate at the Kol Nidra chant. We can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is, as we're all getting older, to be holding the Torahs with all the ornaments and the sweat pouring down, and for the fourth time, Kol Nidre. Who's going to drop it first? It's unbelievable. We have admiration for you for how you dealt with all of the temple youth. You have to have a lot of patience. But I always found it interesting to see Remmie explaining to one of the kids that the term high holidays had nothing to do with marijuana. Some of you know that over the years, for some time now, I've been the Torah reader of the portion Netzavim on Yom Kippur mornings. And I was thinking of Remmie and how he reacted to my first reading many, many years ago. Of course, I'm very nervous. I studied. And when I finished the portion that first time, had this big sigh of relief that I got through it without major error or embarrassment. And Remmie's reaction to that reminds me of the story of the Jewish grandmother who took her grandson on a cruise. And they hit some bad weather, and on a given day, the grandson fell over into the water. And the grandmother's screaming, my grandson, my grandson. This brave gentleman standing next to her dove into the water and rescued the grandchild. Brings him back up to the top deck and presents him to the grandmother, at which point she looks at him and says, he was wearing a hat. Now, I'm not saying there's an analogy between Remmie, that first Torah reading, and the grandmother. But when I finished it, he leaned over and he said to me, "You could have chanted it."
In fact, truth be known, he still says that to me today. Show of hands, how many people here are familiar with Jeff Foxworthy? Well, quite a few of you. Of course, you probably know him from his "You Know You're a Redneck When," correct? Well, what you don't know is he has a lesser-known shtick. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when. And I'll give you an example. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Grand Delano when the Cantor lies prostrate. That's prostrate. Woman shaking her head going, prostrate, lying stretched out on the beamer before the open ark. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when he's prostrate on the ark, and it takes the rabbi and the president of the temple 10 minutes to get him out. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when his Kiddush cup is filled with Geritol. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when, for the Kol Nidre and the Avinu Malkeinu, he lip syncs to Neil Diamond. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when, between chanting and singing, he drinks from a bottle of Poland Springs on Yom Kippur. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when, during the Havdalah service, he once again drops the large candle and we have to call the fire department again. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when, during the shofar service, he puts in earplugs. Time for the Cantor. You know it's time for the Cantor to retire when he sings every single hymn to the tune of Ein Keloheinu. And lastly, you know it's time for the Cantor to retire when he comes to Friday night service in a Tommy Bahama shirt and a straw hat and sandals. That's when it's time. A few of you may recall from Rabbi Astrakhan's retirement, Mrs. Lifshitz from Hadassah. And she's still with Hadassah, and she wanted to be here today. But apparently, at the same time as this function, the JCC is offering a class entitled Mahjong for Seniors. So she went there. But she asked me to read her remarks to you. She wrote some brief remarks that I'm going to present to you, and she asked, as best I could, that I give it in her voice. So we're going to give it a try. Chazan Remmie Brown, Mazel Tov from Hadassah on your retirement. A gesundheit dir, you should live and be well. Danken Gott, you have been given years and so many a temple sign of mehr gesund. It's beschert that balbatische Yidden, well-respected Jews such as yourself, should be so successful. So respected, soll do nicht wissen vom Zores. You should never know from misery. We at Hadassah heard about your fund. Such a mitzvah. We're confident that you'll make a big donation from this fund to Hadassah. Kinahara. A git in the shuma second to none. Don't be like Rabbi Astrakhan, who used to hang up on me when I called. He felt it was nishka failure. We know you're a Hamish landsman, a chochem who would never have the chutzpah to give us babkis. In conclusion, we at Hadassah wish you such a mensch, a shtik nachas. Mr. Chase will give you the address to send the big check. Sei gesund, Mrs. Lifshitz. To move on with the program, we have Lenore Soames, former educational director of many years with us, who's come here to celebrate with us, and I'd ask her to come and make a few remarks.
So wait, where's Remmie? I need Remmie. So Remmie, you were as a brother to me. You watched over me, protected me, and always gave me advice.
Never listened to a bit of it.
That was my next line. But you did. What you did was you looked out for my best interests. But we know that as a brother and a sister, we don't always get along. Yes?
That's true. Go ahead.
But today, I'm here today to tell you, Remmie, I did listen to you. And I did take what you said seriously. And you were my mentor. And I must share with everybody the times that we had when we had together, when we had children who were starting to learn Hebrew. And you looked at everybody. And if there was a child that didn't want to raise his hand because he was worried that somebody might say something. And Remmie, I remember what you did.
Ran?
Didn't run. You stood there and you said, and you looked at these children and you said, you know, I need help to open the ark. And you looked at the children who were most wary of it and you said, come up with me, come stand with me and help me open the ark. And these children came up with smiles on their faces and knew that because the Cantor needed help and you came up, that everything was good and that you were important. You made every child feel important. And I remember also, not only the children, but us, all of us, that you took us and in your arms and you were the person to come to, the person that I knew that I could come to and say, Remmie, I'm having a problem. And you would stand with me and say, we'll figure this out. We took walks together and we figured out what to do and how to do it. You were compassionate. You taught all of us compassion. And when we looked at the children and saw even high school children that you taught, I looked at these children and thought to myself, this is so hard to learn Torah portions, to learn Haftarah portions. It's hard. So what did you do? You decided that you were going to make it easier, and you took colors and put colors into the different Torah portions. So it made it easier for our children to learn, and they loved the colors. There wasn't a time that you did not come to our temple and make it a better place for all of us. I know that I have plenty to say, and I don't want to take up all of your time. You can read it afterwards. But I want to tell you that we know that for us and for everybody and for teachers, we know that 10% of what we teach is meaningful, but we also know that the rest of it is divine. That when we teach our children Torah, and when you do, you know that there is divinity. You know that God is present. You have filled us with that. When you sing, Remmie, you raise our voices to the heavens, and we thank God that you are here, and we thank God for everything that you have done. I love you as a brother, and I thank you so much for everything that you have taught me.
I'm going to invite Betsy Gertz up.
It's been a while since I've spoken in front of a large group like this, but it's not abnormal for me to do that. So I thought I'd introduce you to me, Betsy Gertz. You can't hear me? My voice is not loud enough. I can scream at you. Is this a little better? So what you see today, and I've started off nights like this, is you see a different person today than maybe some of you have seen in years and years and years. It took me a very, very long time to get here, to get reborn again, but I did. And so you see somebody different that has a different mindset from everything that I went through, from all of your prayers that kind of like resonated in me. And for Remmie, where are you? Why are you there? For you and me, your voice to me was bringing me alive every day, telling me that I could survive and grow. So today, when I need something to fix me up, when I'm having a bad day, something gets in my way, I think of you. Because there's a piece of you that's in me. And that's the best way that I can say it. So when I need you, you're always there. And I picture you singing to me all the time. So the Mishabera for me is the sense, but I feel all of your energy in me as it drove me and drove me and drove me. And I can't really explain to you exactly what happened that drove me to stand clear in front of you, because you know, history-wise, you know all the stories about me trying to go away and away and away. And finally we acquiesce and we come above. So somebody that tells me that they're having a problem and they're having a problem surviving, it's me now that goes back and says, you know what? You know, am I crazy? Of course. Am I mentally ill? Of course. I have all of that. You know, and I'm actually kind of proud of it, to be able to say to you today, this is what stands in front of you. So what I want to do is I want to offer you something that I've been working on in the form of some music to sing to you. But what I need you to do for me is to come and sit in front of me so I can sing to you. Y'all up for that a little bit? It's going to take me a couple of minutes. So, you know, as I explained to you a little bit, let's see if this really works. Coming on? So as the story goes, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. So basically, the long story is, medically speaking, as they say, I'm status post meningitis with herpes encephalitis with a craniectomy in '03. What does that mean? That I basically got a virus that affected my brain. They had to take my skull off, a piece of my brain, and stick it back on at a particular point of time. I was paralyzed on my left side, which I'm dominant left side. So it took me a very, very long time to get this working. And all of a sudden, some months ago, I met this neurologist, it's a funny story, in Sarasota. And finally, as talking to him, I felt comfortable enough to say, do I need a neurologist? He said, you need me, make an appointment. So I did, and I sat down with him, and I felt comfortable by saying to him, you know what? He said, no what, Betsy? He said, when I close my eyes, I hear things, I see things, I know it's not right. And he looked at me, he goes, no, I think you're having seizures, that's your problem. This is after 10 years. And he said to me, oh, you know, I can help you, don't worry about it, I can help you. So in a day, he puts me on a drug, and by the time I go home after 2 hours, my hand starts firing like I was 5 years old. And all of a sudden, when I couldn't play the guitar anymore, I started to play again. So I don't know how to describe what happened to me, but I do know spiritually something happened inside of me, like something's knocking on my shoulder. I've never been a God-like person, but I'm very spiritual. I know that there's something inside of me, and I know it's part of you that you put in me. And that's the best way I can describe it. Because when I think about it, I see your face. And I can't describe it any further than that. Does that make a little sense? Yes. So. It's going to take me a second to warm myself up, so give me a sec. Can you hear? Yes.
Was it your smile or your hugs? No, I don't think it was that, no. I can't remember which hit me first. Was it your smile or your hug? No, I don't think it was that, no. I think it was your voice. It resonated. Think it was your voice. It resonated in my brain, in my heart. I can't remember which hit me first. Was it your smile or your hug? No, I don't think it was that. I think it was the fact that your heart is so incredible. There's inside of you, and there's a piece of you that's inside of me.
I have a feeling that that piece that lives inside of me also lives inside of everybody else in this room. So when you give yourself and you retire, it's bittersweet retiring. So you don't ever ever retire, you will always sing. And I will sing to you every time I say, I don't know where to be first. I'll say to you. Let's stop on you. You made me laugh. You left me so curious to want to know more about me. Really, that's kind of all I have to say. I could play, but I can say, happy retirement, Remmie, because you'll never stop singing.
Thank you, Betsy. Before I invite Rabbi Stein up, I have a few thoughts. As we all know, he's moving to Rochester. Of course, he got the job, but some of you don't really realize there was a little shaky start. It appears he showed up for his first interview, walked through the front doors, and encountered the education director, who thought he was one of the confirmation students and took him to task for being late. But this new temple, Temple Latzegeld, have you seen pictures of this place? No, really, have you seen pictures of this place? It's humongous. This place is so big, it makes the cathedral at the Vatican look like a chapel. It's humongous. 4,000 families, I hear. 4,000 families, 3 sanctuaries, 3 rabbis, 3 cantors. I heard that if you want to get a bar mitzvah date at that temple, you've got to put the name in right after the bris, or the kid's going to get the bar mitzvah at 16 and drive to the temple. You talk about well-heeled. Of course, at Temple Sinai, when we talk about the shofar, we talk about the ram's horn. When they talk about the shofar, it's the guy that drives the rabbi to the temple. On the serious side, we will surely miss you. The wonderful service we had, I think it was a week ago Friday, and the attendance at that service speaks volumes about what we think about you and the family. You're a great rabbi. We've learned so much from you. You know, we've learned, and I'm sure you will all agree, there are some rabbis that are Jewish scholars. There are some rabbis who are good teachers, and there are other rabbis that are good listeners. But you, Rabbi Stein, are all of those things. We all love you and will miss you. I invite up Rabbi Peter Stein.
Thank you very much, Joel. So as I was preparing for today and anticipating the significance of this occasion, not only for Remmie, but for our congregation, I look back at some of the temple records and some of our history, and to demonstrate just a little bit of his impact on all of us, I think of the tradition that says that Torah was given to Moses on Mount Sinai, and then in succession, from generation to generation, it was taught and passed on by teachers to their students, from one generation to the next. Shalshelet HaKabbalah, the chain of tradition that is sustained when those who love Torah devote themselves to teaching it and to living its ideals. And in that spirit, as I look back at our records, during the time of Remmie's tenure as our cantor, he has been the teacher and the cantor for nearly 1,000 bar and bat mitzvahs. with each one strengthening that chain of tradition, strengthening Torah within generations and from one generation to the next. So at this time, I would ask that all those in the room today who became bar or bat mitzvah under Cantor Brown's tutelage to please rise as a sign of thanks. We're here today celebrating my dear friend, our cherished colleague, our beloved Cantor Remmie Brown. We're celebrating his incomparable voice, the magnificent, spiritual, inspiring music that he has brought to our holiday Shabbat and life cycle observance. But even more than his music, today I celebrate Remmie's spirit. He is a role model of faith, curiosity, dedication to Torah ideals, a role model of generosity and helpfulness. He has led us with his voice, but even more so, he has led us with his spirit. He has been a magnificent teacher, a caring counselor and support, and someone who has given every ounce of his energy to strengthen the Rhode Island Jewish community and our holy congregation. I am profoundly grateful to have had Remmie at my side as a partner and a support in leading Temple Sinai to greater and greater heights. Remmie, may you, along with Margie, be blessed with many years of health, happiness, and satisfaction. I pray that this next chapter of life will give you the freedom and flexibility to enjoy special times with your family and friends. I know that you will continue to honor our Jewish tradition in all that you do for many years to come. May God bless you at this milestone of your retirement, and may God bless you with all good things in the future. Mazel tov.
Before I invite up our Rabbi Emeritus, I have a few thoughts as well, a few quick thoughts. As I always tell him, he was always the first guy to offer to pay for lunch on Yom Kippur. And Rabbi Astrakhan asked to speak this afternoon. Many of us learned of his sermons over the years. Well, based upon that, I'd say we'll be out of here by 6. A mazel tov to him once again. This year he received an award from the CCAR, GJC, AARP, DAV, DNC, USY, JCC, ASCAP, for being the tallest rabbi with the deepest voice. On the serious side, you have meant so much to so many of us. My rabbi, my teacher, my confidant, and my friend. You served us well for so many years. Oscar and Hammerstein, Stephen Eady,
Dean and Jerry, Tevi and Golda, didn't have anything over George and Remmie. Thank you for all the great memories, and thanks for always being there. It's my pleasure to introduce our Rabbi Emeritus, George Astrakhan.
They used to say, you never want to follow an animal act or children. We now add to that, you never want to follow Joel. Before I get to Remmie, you've had it very easy so far this afternoon. Just a couple of thoughts. First of all, Joel, be careful about how you speak about the temple that Peter is going to. It was my temple growing up. With so many of you here this afternoon, I feel like I should begin by wishing you all a good Yontif. In contemplating what I wanted to say this afternoon, I looked for inspiration, first of all, in the Torah. I found nothing. And then I searched the books of the Talmud, the various tractates. Nada, nothing. I finally found what I was looking for in the Boy Scout manual. The Scout Law. And I'd like to expound upon those 12 points in your honor this day. The first of the laws is trustworthy. We had an agreement when I first came here, when Remmie came here, because I preceded you by a year. And we sat down and talked, and we reached an agreement. If you didn't preach, I wouldn't sing. I kept my part of the bargain. The second law is loyal. Remmie has always been loyal. Like a puppy dog. I would call him up and I would say, Remmie, I've been called about a wedding. Would you like to participate? His answer, yeah. Helpful. We used to go on confirmation class trips together. We took our kids in a van, a bus, and I think except for one time, you were always there, but one time in particular, I remember my back went out, and I was stuck on the bus. I couldn't go anywhere, and you volunteered to go with Rita to see if you could find a heating pad for me. You did find one. Better, you should have found an ice pack for me. Friendly. He is definitely one of the friendliest people I've ever met. Always a smile, always available. And And there was nothing funny I could say about that. So I'll move on to the next one. Courteous. You know, we would come up the stairs going up to the bema from downstairs. And he always let me walk out onto the bema first. I thought it was out of respect. But I soon discovered he felt because of my age I might need a push. Kind. Remmie always had a kind word to say about everyone. It was mentioned about the children you had, bar and bat mitzvah. You taught them, you did a wonderful job. But I know sometimes there was that frustration, and I wonder how kind you really were. We'll talk about it later. Number 7, obedient. We'll have to ask Margie about that. Cheerful. Remmie always had a good word to say about everyone, and he was always in a good mood. I can remember walking into the temple in the afternoons, and the first thing out of his mouth to everybody was, "Hello, how's everybody?" Right? Even when I know you weren't feeling so well at times, he always made the rest of us feel good. Thrifty. We all know how generous Remmie is. I don't know if he knows what I'm going to say or not. We've had the pleasure, Rita and I have had, going out with Remmie and Margie on many occasions. We'd go to dinner at restaurants, and we would always split the bill. Well, one day we handed in our credit cards after dinner. My bill came from Visa, wasn't on there. I thought, gee, isn't that nice? Must be that Remmie must have told them to put both bills together on his card. Later that day or the next day, I get a call from Remmie. He got his bill. He's thrifty, all right. Number 10, brave. No matter the weather, like a mailman, he was always there early to make sure that the weather didn't impede his traveling. And I don't remember the whole phrase, but it's something about neither sleet nor rain nor whatever the rest of it is. You could have been a mailman. Clean. We never knew whether we were going to see Remmie with a beard or clean shaven. And finally, reverent. And that really doesn't need any comment from me. I've had the pleasure of working with Remmie for at least 20 years, and really even more than that. I can remember going to rabbinic conventions, sitting with my classmates, and listening to their horror stories of their relationship with their cantors. I never had to join that conversation other than to say that I was most fortunate. We had a wonderful working relationship right from day one. It was very easy for me to be able to prepare for services and to conduct services and know that I didn't have to worry about what my cantor was going to be doing. It was a wonderful relationship. We were more than colleagues. I really felt that we were friends. We moved from Rhode Island about 3 years ago to be with family, and one thing that we miss, and we really do miss, is listening to Remmie chant, his chanting of the Kol Nidre, his conducting of the musical portions of services, because we've never been around a cantor with a voice and with the demeanor and the sincerity that we had with Remmie. I had the opportunity to conduct High Holy Day services on several cruise ships. In the one that I did on Yom Kippur, I came to Remmie and asked him if he would somehow chant the Kol Nidre for me, put it on a CD so that I could play it when it came to that part of the service.
Notice you never invited me to come on.
I didn't want to be upstaged. I know that all of you here, members of Temple Sinai, I know that you feel very saddened on this occasion. Remmie's been with Temple Sinai for 34 years. But I know two things for sure. Number one, you're happy for him. I think that goes without saying. And secondly, I know for sure he's not going to disappear. He's going to be around. Because just as he's become a part of your lives, I know that he's become a part of yours as well. Remmie, enjoy your retirement. I hope you enjoy it at least as much as I've enjoyed my retirement. You deserve it. Now, hopefully, you will be able to enjoy more time with your family, with your friends, and you'll be able to enjoy your weekends as well. As far as you and I are concerned, I'm sure our friendship will continue, and I'm looking forward to your next visit, to visiting us in Pennsylvania. All the very best on this occasion. Remmie, I'd like to invite you to join me here on the bima, and I'd like to invite Rabbi Stein as well to join us here. For the past 34 years, you've had the pleasure, I'm sure, on occasions of the many bar and bat mitzvahs that you've participated in, that you've had the pleasure of sharing and invoking God's blessing upon the many children whose lives you have heavily influenced. Now it's going to be our pleasure to invoke God's blessing upon you and wishing you, as I said, everything well as you begin this next phase of your life.
Which one of you is going to sing?
We had an agreement.
May God bless you and protect you. May the light of God shine on you and fill your life with goodness. May God fill your life always with health, with happiness, with fulfillment, and with peace.
You look so
This time I'd like to invite Eric and Stephanie Abbott up for a presentation.
Want to get it ready? Right here. Okay, why not? So Maimonides taught that there is no greater honor than that due to a teacher. And Cantor, you're not only our Cantor, but you're also our teacher, our mentor, not just for Steph and I, but for everyone here, I think. And therefore, it's our great pleasure to present to you this token of appreciation from all of us at Temple Sinai. And it says,
Cantor Remmie Brown, thank you for 34 years of dedicated service to Temple Sinai. Wishing you good health and mazel on your retirement. With our love and appreciation, your Temple Sinai family.
I believe at this time there's a short video montage.
שלום, מזל טוב עד הגמלאות, ושיהיה לך בהמון המון הצלחה בעתיד.
Hi Zazie, we're so sad we're not there, we really miss you, and mazal tov and enjoy your retirement. We love you.
Bye.
Zazie.
Oh, I say
I love you.
oh, say
Say it.
Yeah, you.
Hi, now we know that you've been very busy for many years at Temple Sinai, and you haven't had all the time to do all the things that you wanted to do. So we hope that in your retirement you'll have more time to visit us, and we've just made a short list of things that we need you to do.
Enjoy your retirement, Dad. Well deserved.
Congratulations. I hope this means we're going to spend more time together.
Hi, Zadie. Looking forward to seeing you in your new house in Florida.
Hey Sadie, congratulations on your retirement. Even though I'll be away in Israel next year, hope maybe you'll have the time now to come visit.
Congratulations, Dad, on your retirement. We love you, we're so proud of you, and just hope we wish you many, many years to enjoy.
Hi, Sadie. Congratulations on your retirement. Hope you have many more years of happiness and love, and I love you.
Oh, wait, Sadie. What? I think you're louder. Hi, Dad. Love in your retirement. Well deserved. You've worked hard for so many years. Forward to be able to spend more time with you and that you can get away more. Love you.
many other informal ones.
We hope you have many years of good health to enjoy the extra family time, trips, and adventures with Mom.
And yes, we're a bit jealous.
Zadie, you have taught us all the importance of working hard, especially for others. I hope you will now take some time for yourself and come work out with me.
For retirement, I'm looking forward to playing some gin with you and hitting the restaurant scene in Florida.
Hi, Zadie. Beautiful job. Congratulations on your retirement. You've always been a huge inspiration on me. I know that my love of singing and davening and reading from the Torah and all those different things has definitely been hugely influenced by you. I was also very lucky that we got to sit down and learn my Haftorah together, and not only was that keeping the family tradition going, but I got to spend time with you and they're memories that I'm going to cherish forever. This year I got to lead my own Seder for the first time, and I realized that as I was standing up there singing the songs that we sang in your living room and doing the tunes to Kiddush and things, was standing up there singing the songs that we sang in your living room and doing the tunes to Kiddush and things that I just called the Zadie tune. So all that, and I realized that the just huge extent and the impact that you've had on my life. So I want to say thank you for that, that I love you, and that I hope that even in your retirement, we'll still be able to continue to have great memories and have fun together.
Remmie, first of all, let me say mazel tov for your being honored for 34 years of service here at Temple Sinai. And second, unfortunately, I have to apologize because I will not be able to be with you at the celebration. A couple of years ago, I agreed to co-officiate at a wedding for a former bat mitzvah and confirmand, and that's down in Baltimore. And even though I'm retired, I haven't figured out how to be in two places at the same time. Really, you know that we go back a very long time. When I came to Barrington in August of 1974, you were one of the first people with whom I met because we had a plan together the High Holy Days. And we worked together happily, I think, and comfortably until 1980, when you were called to a higher position here in Cranston. I enjoyed very much working with you for the high holidays, for several bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, and for an occasional special music service. Two things stick with me. One, your menschlichkeit, and two, your musicality. And I can say that over the years, your menschlichkeit has only deepened as you have grown wiser and more experienced. And your musicality has exploded. The few times I've had the privilege of listening to you here at Temple Sinai or at some other community event, I've been so impressed with the richness of your voice, the sensitivity, and the emotional quality. I've enjoyed working with you from time to time, and I will continue to enjoy spending some time with you and Margie in your well-earned retirement.
Cantor, I would not be where I am today without you. I'm entering my third year of rabbinic school, and you've definitely been an influence on my entire life and who I am. And I don't think I could say that I would be a rabbi without your influence and your character and just who you are and what you've done. But I think really the big thing you've taught me, the biggest influence you've had on me is the confidence to lead others in prayer and to be up there in front of other people in this Jewish setting. That, I think, is the biggest impact you've had on my life. You've been more than a cantor to me, more than a chazan. You've been a mentor, you've been a teacher, you've been part of my temple family, and you will be missed. And ultimately, while I've had many rabbis over the years, I've only had
had one Cantor. And I will miss you, and I wish you the best of luck in all that you do in the future.
First, I want to say thank you, Cantor, for all you have given me over the years. When I was little, it was a laugh. Once I was in Hebrew school, it was the confidence to lead either the Vishamru or the Ve'ahavta at a service. When I was 13, you taught me the Hebrew and the skills to lead at my bar mitzvah. Since then, you have given me, but probably without realizing it, how to love Shabbat and love Judaism. I am glad that you were able to watch me grow up, but I still have some growing up to do. So while you are at my bar mitzvah, you will be at my wedding. Although you are no longer the Cantor at Temple Sinai, you will always be my Cantor and always be part of my family. I love you and I will miss you.
We are blessings. We are His story in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words, and we are stories, we are pictures.
I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of all of us to thank the committee for doing such a great job. I mean, you look around, all of us who have been involved with planning events, bat and bat mitzvahs, weddings, know what goes into it, you're looking at certainly at least 3 times that effort. And I'm sure the seating plan was a pleasure. Sending in who you wanted to sit with, and of course, to Dottie's surprise, there were no 50-seat tables. So this was an unbelievable thing that they did. And I like to name them in no particular order. Sandy Maldivere, Matt Gabrilowitz, Greg Rosen, Stephanie Stein, Mindy Halprin, Susan Viederman, Helene Klein, Dennis Burns, David Freed, Pam Rosen, Lori Land, Gabriella Goldberg, Dottie Swayzian, and Ellie Wasser. Remmie, a few serious thoughts. You know, I always felt that when I retire and look back at my career, the most important thing to me is going to be that I made a difference. Somehow I made a difference, that they'll know I was here. And just look around the room. We've got an expression in the law, Latin term, res ipsa loquitur. It means the thing speaks for itself. And I think of that term when I think of you, because you look at a room this size filled with people who love and respect you, and it simply speaks for itself. There have been many kind words throughout the afternoon, but all we needed to do is look around. And as I say, the room speaks for itself. Nothing really had to be said. I remember how I felt when Rabbi Astrakhan and I had lunch one day, and he told me he was retiring. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I said to him, I have very mixed feelings. As your friend, as your congregant, I'm not a happy guy. As your friend, I'm ecstatic that God has given you the health and the ability to retire and to have some years ahead of you. And I felt a very similar feeling when I found out that Rabbi Stein was moving after many years with us. And it's the same thing. You feel very unhappy that you're not going to have them, but at the same time, if you truly love them and you care about them, you're very happy for them, because they're going to have something very positive happening to them. And again, obviously with Remmie, it's the same situation. We're all very unhappy that you're retiring. We do look forward to many positive years with our new Cantor, but we understand 34 years is a very long relationship, and we've all grown to love you and care a lot about you. So, as your congregants, we're not happy. As your friends and people who love you so much, we're ecstatic that you and Margie will have this time to enjoy your very large family. While George and Peter were bestowing the ancient priestly benediction upon you, I was thinking, if God were to bless anybody, if God were to shine his light onto anybody and be gracious unto anyone and to give anyone peace, it's you. I'd like to call upon Remmie's son Meyer, has a few brief comments on behalf of the family.
Okay, Mom, don't cry, okay? It makes us, all of us kids, proud to see so many people here today to honor our father. We were young when our father started at Temple Sinai, and we grew up here. 34 years is a long time to work in one place. My father loves what he does, the people he gets to interact with. Many of you, we know, had an especially close relationship with the Cantor and joined us in our home for the holidays. Our dad isn't merely a talented singer, performer, but a teacher of young and old, a spiritual guide who leads the prayer, a clergy to officiate life cycle events, a comforting visitor for pastoral care, but most importantly, a husband, father, a Zadie, a brother, an uncle, cousin, and friend. Family has always been primary to our dad. The reason he could give so much time to the temple was that Temple Sinai and all of you are his family as well. He taught you and your children and cared for you, just as he did for his own family. When you celebrated, he celebrated. And when you experienced a loss, it was as if he lost it as well. Let's not forget, through all these years, the woman who sat with the congregation on Friday nights and the holidays, comforted at Shiva visits, and celebrated family milestones. She entertained in her home at the Passover Seder, in later years at the Sukkah dinners, and prepared a delicious Sabbath meal for guests from the temple. Our mother may not sing, thankfully, but she certainly is the harmony to our father's melody. Is his support and biggest fan, and the reason our father could spend 6 or 7 days a week at Temple Sinai. We are so grateful to be able to be here to celebrate with you and show gratitude, pride, and love for our dad, the Cantor. You know, Dad, I know I speak for myself and my siblings. For years, we've always had to book dates with you. You know, make sure it didn't interfere with a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, a wedding, heaven forbid a funeral or unveiling. But now we look forward to spending more time with you and Mom, visiting you guys in Florida, you coming to visit us, as much as you don't like visiting me in New York. And we hope to spend more years with you. Love you, Dad.
To Meyer and to Masha and the rest of the family, thank you for sharing him with us for all these years. Remmie, if you'd come up for a sec, we have one last presentation. Remmie, this is from the temple. I think you're going to like it. It's very unique. I think it's the only one in the world. I think it's something that you'll enjoy using, and we hope that you do use. I'd like you to open it up.
I like wrapping paper.
It's a, can all of you see it in the back? It's a parking sign for Remmie. It's got Cantor Emeritus on it, and it'll be in the back of the temple in a special spot. I'm very excited about this. I think the other Joel is excited about it too, because now he won't end up parking illegally and having to call one of us to get the ticket straightened out.
Which bathroom store? I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah, we're going to give Remmie a chance at some remarks, and after Remmie is done, we're going to conclude with performance by our beloved Sharena.
In the Torah Bamidbar, I'm breaking our little agreement. All right?
All you were expecting me to sing.
I did. I don't know. All right. In the Torah Bamidbar, Pasha Balak, Balaam, a non-Jewish prophet, looks over the people Israel encamped in the valley, and with some of the most notable words in Torah exclaimed, Ma tovu ahalecha Yaakov, mishkanatecha Yisrael. How fair, how beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. This afternoon we have gathered together as one family, with one purpose, and I must say, how beautiful you look, and how blessed I am to be able to be here amongst you, my friends and family. And in that spirit, I ask you one more time to join with me in the singing of Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad, how good and how pleasant it is that we can join here together. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Let me hear you. Shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. You still got it. I want to thank you all for coming from near and far to honor Margie and me. Being honored in such a way by you just means, in my grandchildren's words, so much. Though others have done the same, I wish to express my appreciation to the committee who put together this event. I would ask that those committee members that are here, still here, please stand so that we, as a group, can thank you. Thank you also to Scott Friedman and the wonderful video, to Michael Skorsky, a talented photographer. All your efforts have made this day unforgettable for us all. I especially need to point out one person in particular who has already been pointed out, but we need to do it again. A friend to all, often underappreciated, always there when needed, Dottie Swayze. She's our secretary, bookkeeper, building manager, and just about a jack of all trades. How you juggle all you do simply amazes us all. You are the true heart and soul of this congregation, and I will miss our frequent conversations. Thank you for all your efforts on my behalf over the years. It is hard to believe that 34 years have passed. Half of my life, I'm 68, almost, since coming to Temple Sinai. It feels like only yesterday that I sat in my living room with Irving Waldman discussing the possibilities of my coming to Temple Sinai. Irving assured me of the specialness of the Temple Sinai congregation, that I would not regret coming here. As always, Irving was correct. He told me to say that. From the first time I nervously stepped out on the pulpit, I could feel the love and appreciation from you all. Thank you, Irving, and your search committee. Thinking over my years at Temple Sinai, I know that I'll always remember the junior choir, the early years with overflowing crowds at our Shabbat family services, with families supporting their children's effort as they led the services while their younger siblings were doing cartwheels in the aisles. The volunteers who sang in the choir, led by Stanley Friedman and later by Phil Ferrone and Raymond Patero. The professional choir, who not only sang beautifully, but who supported each other and me during joyous and difficult times in each other's lives. We were a family whom I'll greatly miss. I'll miss the hugs of the children and the kisses from many of the adults. I'll miss the smiles and the sense of pride on the face of the B'nai Mitzvah confirmation and graduation students, as well as the smiles and tears on the faces of supportive family and friends. That mean, rotten Cantor loved you all and still does today. You always rose to the occasion, and you made me proud. As with all families, we sometimes didn't agree, and mistakes were made. But we moved forward, making the corrections that were needed, and hoping that the wounds left behind would someday heal. I ask you for your forgiveness for any hurt that I might have caused. It was never intentional, and much could be written off as just plain immaturity on my part. 34 years was a long time ago. Neither Margie, my children, or I will ever forget how you reached out to my family and me when I had a heart attack right after my oldest daughter Marsha's wedding. It wasn't her fault. Your sweetness and caring when Marge and I were diagnosed with cancer and the subsequent surgeries and treatments. Your sympathy, empathy, and generosity shown when Margie's mother and my parents passed away. Margie and I truly feel part of a very special family here at Temple Sinai. There were also wonderful, happy times we spent together at each other's family simchas. We are happy to have been able to share so much with so many of you. What a difference you all have made in our life. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in our life. You've been my sunshine day and night. what a difference you've made in my life. What a change you have made in my heart. What a change I pray I've made in your heart. We replaced all our broken parts. Oh, what a change you have made in our heart. What a difference the children made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You've been my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. What a difference the new rabbi will make in our life. What a difference Cantor Siegel, somewhere over here, will make in our life. You'll be their sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference they'll make in our life. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. Each other's sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. Oh, no. I'm not done yet. Some of you are well aware of the trials and tribulations this congregation has gone through over the years. Many of you are not aware of the personal and financial sacrifices people made in the early years. Way back there, they know. So that we as a congregation would survive so we could be here today. Your board members and officers often go unappreciated because you're not aware, except maybe twice a year if you come to the annual and the semi-annual meeting, how much work and effort goes into keeping this congregation afloat and making sure it remains the special place it is. Besides the board members and officers, no congregation could survive without the work and dedication of volunteers and those who support their efforts. Whether it be committees, Sharenu, the Biblical Garden, Brotherhood, Sisterhood, the religious school, or many other fundraising efforts, I hope you will continue to step up and be counted. This is your congregation. This is also my congregation, and its survival and successes are in all our hands, not just in the hands of a few. I have been blessed to be able to work with knowledgeable, caring, and hardworking presidents, and I thank you all. A very special thank you to our current president, Eli Wasser, who has handled the transition to a new rabbi in Cantor with such skill and grace. Temple Sinai has been fortunate to have had some absolutely terrific educational and spiritual leadership in our rabbis, educational directors, and teachers. Our religious school under Marilyn Moskal, Lenore Soanes, and Toby Koritsky created a place where our children could learn and be proud of their heritage in an often fun and creative atmosphere. Thank you for your leadership and your friendship. Our rabbis, Rabbi Gerlin, whom I only mentioned because he was the rabbi who helped prepare me for my own bar mitzvah. He was a role model for me long before there was a Temple Sinai on my mind. Rabbi Astrakhan, my teacher, my friend as well as colleague, who guided me during those first few years and then set me free to create and lead as an equal member of the leadership team. Rabbi Lippman, though he had his faults, renewed our love of Torah learning in an often dynamic way. And Rabbi Stein, a wonderful teacher, a role model, beating the drums for our participation in a world of social action, Tikkun Olam. I learned much from you all and look forward to our continued growth with Rabbi Goldwasser. It's amazing what we have accomplished together as congregants and friends. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I'll get by with little help from my friends. I'll do fine with little help from my friends. Gonna try with little help from my friends. What will you do when I go away? Does it worry you to have someone new? How will you feel at the end of the day with a rabbi and Cantor so new? Oh, you'll get by with a little help from your friends. You'll do fine with a little help from your friends. You'll do great with a little help from your friends. Do you need anybody? We all need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? A new Cantor and rabbi to love. Would you believe in love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain it happens all the time. What will you do when you turn on the light? I can't tell you, I just know things will be fine. Oh, you'll get by with little help from your friends. You'll do fine with little help from your friends. Just try with a little help from your friends. Do you need anybody? We all need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? A new Cantor and rabbi to love. Oh, they'll get by with little help from new friends. They'll do fine with little help from new friends. You'll do great with little help from new friends. Though I truly feel part of a very special family here at Temple Sinai, it would not have been possible without the love and support of my wife and children. Meyer and Masha, if I repeat stuff, I'm getting old, just bear with me. I apologize for the many times we could not do things together as a family, not being able to attend special occasions in our lives, or just be there when you needed me, because of obligations related to my work at Temple Sinai. At least in the future, as you pointed out, you will no longer have to give me 3 years' notice when planning a special occasion. Margie and my children have been my partners during my 44-year career serving pulpits in Rhode Island. My successes were also their successes. And they should always know that I'm proud to be their father, their Zadie, and how proud and fortunate I am to have married such a special lady and their mother and Bubby. It must have been cold there in my shadow to rarely have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind, so I was the one who got the glory, while you were the ones with all the strength. Beautiful faces without a name for so long, beautiful smiles to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I would like to be? If I can't fly higher than an eagle, then you've been the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I got it all here in my heart. I want everyone to know I know the truth, of course I know it. I would have been nothing without all of you. Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I would like to be? If I can fly higher than an eagle, then you've been the wind beneath my wings. You've all been the wind beneath my wings. Another member of our special family is Raymond Patero, our friend, our organist, and choir director for many years. He adds much to the beauty of our music and to our Torah learning Saturday mornings. You have been a good friend and teacher, often going above and beyond so that the services and programs at Temple Sinai would be melodic, spiritual, and enjoyable. I want to thank him for his many talents, his charitableness, and support. I don't know, is Raymond here? Okay. Originally, he was going to accompany me today on the keyboard, but he really needs to stop being a little more careful with knives. We wish him a refuah shalema so that soon we can again enjoy his musical skills. To my many professional friends, I have enjoyed working with you and sharing in each other's lives. The rabbis, the cantors, and educators in the Rhode Island community are all talented and special. They add much to our sense of spirituality and learning. We all should be thankful that they have chosen to be part of this community and should support all their efforts. It is time to pass the torch of leadership, not necessarily to a new generation, but to leaders with new ideas and new as well as familiar music. Please show Rabbi Goldwasser and Cantor Siegel the same love and acceptance you have given my family and me over these 34 years. Marge and I are not leaving the community. Temple Sinai will always be our home, and you will always be our friends and our extended family. Marge and I look forward to sharing many more happy and hopefully healthy years together with you all. But for now, you remain in our heart wherever we may be. Every night in our dreams we see you, we feel you. That is how we know we'll go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come here to show you'll go on. Near, far, wherever we heart does go on. Once more you'll open the door, and you're here in our heart, and our heart will go on and on. Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime, and never let go till we're gone. Love was when we first came here, a temple family to hold to. In our life will always go on. Near, far, wherever we are, we believe that the heart does go on. Once more you'll open the door, and you're here in our heart, and our heart will go on and on. You're here, there's nothing to fear, and we know that our memories will go on. We'll stay forever friends this way. You are safe in our heart, and our heart will go on and on. And our memories will go on and on. Thank you for this special day.